what do we have here? Welcome to Upturned Table, and we are unboxing Outgunned Superheroes, the latest. They're coming fast and furious from Two Little Mice. This is their latest crowdfunder, and yeah, it's been a punishing time getting like larger amounts of stuff because the import taxes here are so high. But yeah, I appreciate everything, all the detail and stuff they put into stuff, but it's getting hard to pay the additional like 20, 30%. We're hanging in there. But let's take a look at what we've got here. So we did the Outgunned Adventure on the channel, and then their original set, and even Household. They are the ones that did Household. Oh no, I forgot. They do the Peanuts. Yeah. So we'll deal with that. Hey, we've got some cards here. We'll take a look at those. So I'll pull everything out and try to avoid these peanuts ruining everything. It looks like they cushioned everything pretty well, though. Ooh, the dice kind of modeled after the Infinity Stones. Nice. Yeah, so the concern I had with this, even with the quick start, oh, and the pencil, of course, and it always has written on it, break this to gain 1 power and use it immediately. I don't wonder if anyone's broken these pencils. All right, and here's some wrap stuff. So the thing I was worried about with the quick start from this, and here's their small books that they do. Looks like a nice set of those. And the new action flicks should be in here. Oh, that's right. This is intentional. That's right. I thought they got me. I thought this was actual damage to the box, but it's a worn out VHS sleeve. See, there's the label on the spine. Nice. Yeah. So they give you a box to put all the trinkets in. And I literally thought that it got damaged in shipping. That's a little too paranoid. There's our super deck. All right, our bag, and I feel some coins in there. We'll take a look at those. And a lot of packing peanuts. Oh, and the dice. So we got our 12-sided, like, spin down. Nice. So that, yeah, they did a couple of colors to match the... So yeah, if you've kept up with the Outgunned, you've got a lot of dice with different icons and different colors on them. I think that's it. Yep, that should be everything. Okay, so I backed the superhero level pledge, which was basically everything in there, and they raised about €500,000. So what is that? Closer to $700,000 US. So it's pretty successful. I think people are enjoying this. It's got some competition though, because recently they've been doing a lot of there's been a lot of licensed superhero stuff. So the Marvel and all this noise. The Marvel and DC companies and character universes, I guess, both have superheroes now. So, like I was trying to say, so the concern that I was having with this is it felt a lot just like MCU with the serial numbers, filed off. So just legally distinct versions of the MCU, because that's what the Quick Start felt like. And this was 2025, so this was just last year when they did this. Wow, lots of fun stuff. All right, yep, there's our action flicks and our Outgunned. So here's the main book. So I think they already included in a previous action flicks a superhero way to go. Actually, let me go get that. So I thought in one of their previous, so here's Action Flicks 1 and 2 from their previous campaigns. I thought in one of these they already had kind of a superhero skin and a way to play. Let's see, it's hard to tell from the names. Star Raiders. Oh, Great Powers. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Great Powers in the volume 1 of their action flicks. They did their Great Powers. So let's just see real quick before we get into this what they were already thinking. So here's Great Powers. Yep, there's our superhero. So Plan B blast. A new condition powerless, 6 tropes, 1 new tag super feats, enemy feats, special actions, and a hero, Nathan Nelson. All right. So, yeah, the mask, the responsibility, taking over the world, superhero school, suicide mission. So the new rules. So superpowers for all, both heroes and villains, superpowers for few, or superpowers for bad guys. So how much do you want to go into this? And then behind the mask, secret identity or not. The new Plan B blast. When playing great powers, you can use blast instead of the usual bullet. Blast allows you to gain the same benefits of a bullet with an explosive or surprising display of your full power. Supervillains, and I think supervillains is something that they added, or they also have. And then powerlessness, you can only use your super feats. You can get this condition. You can remove this condition. And some of their some of the different tropes they have: bespectacled reporter, billionaire philanthropist. So we got what, Peter Parker or Clark Kent. Billionaire philanthropist Bruce Wayne, butler of all trades. Okay. Chatty mercenary. So Deadpool and Dark Knight. I wonder who that is. That's probably legally safe him. Yeah, so they go elemental powers, flights, gadgets. So yeah, so they're sticking to, basically like the Marvel hero tropes with a lot of this. Ruler of the Sea. There's some Aquaman in there. Super speed. So yeah, they already did. Yeah, they already did a lot of this work. And so let's take a look in the actual book and see how much they included and what they actually did to make it unique and make it feel more like a totally superhero game. And here's what one of the sheets looks like for superheroes, and then their pre-gen guy, the Super Fighter Dark Knight. All right, yeah. So they did attempt this, and in their very first try, the very first release of Outgunned, they knew that that's what somebody would want to play. So this should be a fleshed out version of that. I just don't want everything to look like the MCU. So Outgunned Superheroes. So a standalone genre book for the cinematic action RPG Outgunned. So that's what they've done with all of these releases so far. They've done Outgunned, which is more flavored, towards John Wick and things, but they have the action flicks so you can try different genres. But each of these games is standalone. You don't need the core book for Outgunned. So it's all going to be explained and probably, tweaked a bit to fit the setting in here. And that's good that they specify that. And nice spot UV on the cover and the satin touch, like all their books. Yeah, they do a really nice job. The production quality is really good for Two Little Mice. So Outgunned Superheroes. Out there, it's full of criminal bosses in white suits and CEOs with no remorse who get rich on the backs of honest citizens, of doctors and professors who dress like animals and act as if they have the right to destroy the city in the middle of rush hour, of haywire artificial intelligences and plum-faced. Oh, there we go. Plum-faced aliens who have decided that there is way too much humanity in the universe, and that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, so they're really specifically naming Thanos and some characters. So and that's fun, but there is a Marvel game, so they should try to give it its own flair, like Champions and Villains and Vigilantes and stuff did back in the day. But even the darkest hour, the good people of the world can always look up into the sky in hope. What is that? A bird? Is it a plane? Neither. It's you, because you are a hero. So a superhero game inspired by classic superhero movies, from Batman to crossovers of the MCU. In Superheroes, the players take on the role of superheroes, standing against an evil villain who has become a threat to their city, world, or the whole universe. Superheroes is a genre book in the Outgunned line and can be played. And you can play it either standalone or as an expansion for Outgunned. Yeah, so you can just add a character that has these abilities, similar to what Action Flix was doing giving you the ability and some rules to add a type of character so you can do genre mashups and stuff. So let's take a look. Oh, they didn't do their usual, the icons inside. We have kind of a map, a galaxy map. So these are tools, not rules. I think that's a thing that I often say. Hey, who is that wrestling Wolverine? So nice. Yeah, here's all their thanks and everything. Oh, and so, oh, wait a minute here. They are, is that DC as in DC? Yeah, I wonder if there's a meaning to that. I think the DC logo is different, but there are some credits to a DC. Interesting. So Two Little Mice, and the authors Ricardo Rico Ciringano and Simone Formicola, and of course the wonderful art by Daniela Giubilini. She's great. I can't believe how much work she produces, especially during their crowdfunders. Graphic design, David Ruini, Caterina Arzani, and John Moran. So translation and revision. Oh, that's right, because there is an Italian version, I believe, as well, and possibly other languages. All right, so let's take a quick look at the contents here. So explaining the genre, heroes assemble pillars of the genre, and then superheroes, the hero sheets, the roles, tropes, attributes, skills, and resources, superpowers and feats, the power and spotlight, showing off your powers, spotlight and feats, basics of the game. So yeah, they give you the and there may be some tweaking. And also, I think in each genre, things are just called different things. Like the mechanics run the same way, but you call it, blast instead of bullet and things like that. So yeah, their action and reaction, the roll difficulty, success, reroll, free reroll, help, and hindrance and failure. So face danger, dangerous rolls. You look such and such. You look tired. You look injured. You look angry. End of a hero. Oh, interesting. Let's see if they talk about superhero death. Enemies and super enemies. Yeah, so they have kind of, just mobs that'll have, mooks or just like, low-level goons, and then higher levels, and they kind of act differently. So some of them have abilities that trigger, and some of them just die in groups, or are knocked out in groups. Weapons and gear. So rides, cash, gadgets, the eternity shards. So they are giving you the ability to play Infinity War. I mean Eternity Wars. So what heroes do, power tiers, cinematic campaign, crisis, endgame, cinematic saga, team sheet, agents of S.T.O.R.M. So S.T.O.R.M. is their shield. Villains, teams of villains, heat, timeout actions, advancement, and then under attack. So they have, I think, a quick pilot shot, like your first shot. All right, so they're even using a Avengers or Heroes Assemble. So yeah, they're leaning, the look of it is leaning heavy, and because maybe DC hasn't quite established an aesthetic or anything very strongly yet. They went with a very MCU look for things, and in the tone of stuff. So what do I need to know to play? Play this game alone without any other rule book. Yeah, so this is, everything in one book, and a tiny book too. I like these size books that can easily fit in bags and not, you aren't afraid to take with you. So what is the setting? So the game is set somewhere in a cooler version of our world, in a time that resembles the present, but there is no specific setting. So that's usually how they go with it. So this is a genre book. So if yes, you have the Outgunned source book, then you can treat superheroes as a mega expansion. No, I do not own the book. Good news, Superheroes is completely standalone. So it's even got its own icons on the dice. All right. So they're still using, the same terms. Director is the GM, heroes are the players. So heroes and the director. The dice turns a scene, a session, a shot is the name for an adventure, and then a cinematic campaign is connected shots. All right, so welcome, hero. So you create your heroes, your superpowers and feats, the basics of the game. Enemy super, so yeah, that's all the chapter heading. So the core themes. And this always helps to kind of get the vibe of the game. So if you're curious about this game or curious if it would work well with your idea of, superheroes. Here's their theming. So great powers, even greater responsibilities. Your superhero doesn't make you, your superpowers don't make you better than other people, and certainly don't make your life easier. A hero has more duties than privileges. The person in the mask. Who are you really? A lone hero who watches over the city from on high, or a person who hides behind a mask? Take away the powers, and what are you? Pick yourself up. A hero is not a hero because they never fall, but because they keep standing back up. Sacrifice. What are you willing to endure in order to save many lives? Your real family. It doesn't matter where you were born. Your friends are your family. Are the family you choose. And the line between good and evil. Does the end justify the means? What separates you from the villain and makes you a true hero? So yeah, they're giving you some, especially role-play themes, and help you with kind of character creation. How you want to go to pillars of the genre: now or never. So you're on a school trip when you notice something. So a jump to action. The world is not ready. So there are many people who love you, who see you as a beacon of hope. But for every one of these fans, there are at least 2 or 3 mudslingers who are loose cannons. And united we win, so nobody, not even a hero with unbelievable superpowers, can hope to make it on their own. So hitting the genre says our close-up of our not Iron Man and not, what's his wife's suit's name? Rescue? Not Rescue. All right. So here are our superheroes. The hero sheet. So superheroes are charismatic leaders who inspire their comrades in epic battles between good and evil. So if you want to be a great hero, you must follow 3 rules. Answer the call. So if you're a hero, sooner or later, the action will come knocking at your door and you will get the call. Whatever it takes, when the city needs you, you never back down, and protect the weak. Even if you often get stuck punching the bad guys, what truly matters is that you protect those who cannot protect themselves. So some pillars of superheroing. So to create your hero, you choose a role, you mark your superpower, you fill in the personal data, choose a trope, mark the attribute and skill points, add 2 free skill points, choose a note 3 feats, mark 1 power, 1 spotlight, 1 cash for your starting values, and then buy 4 cash worth of gear. All right, so there's our little example of our hero sheet and the not Tony Stark on the hero sheet. All right, so your personal data: name, alias, origin, catchphrase, flaw. Oh no, catchphrase. Of course, you have to have a catchphrase. All right, you can choose simple human as your origin, or a specialty, or choose the specialty of superpower instead of one of the offered roles. Your catchphrase is a clear indication of how we should interpret your hero, and you can use it as a benchmark or when you were rewarded with a spotlight. So kind of a Benny or just the ability to do something amazing, which is fun in this game because you can just kind of, it's very limited resource, but you can kind of break out and take over the scene, take the camera away from everybody else and even the director. So choose your origins. The origins are alien, arcane, divine, eternal, evolved, experiment, mutation, myth, prototype, and simple human. So a lot more developed than what they had for just the action flick, which is good. And then the roles: the armored, the beast, the blaster, the champion, the elemental, the force master, the maverick, the psychic, the shadow, the shapeshifter, the sorcerer, the speedster, the tank, the teleporter, and the weapon master. So I think, a lot of stuff is covered. And I think the roles are just to kind of, give you a direction and a theming. And I think you can also kind of, assemble your the other roles in the Outgunned core book. You'll find 10 other roles. Yes, if you want to incorporate any of that. And then incredible roles. In addition to your normal role, this genre book also includes 2 incredible roles: the Marvel and the Prodigy. So like the galactic level, like Captain Marvel or Thor or somebody, above everybody else's power. Yeah, because there's no god or anything as far as, let me see the origins. Yeah, just divine or eternal. Oh, eternity shard. Okay, so that is going to be an ongoing thing. This is in this setting. those eternity shards are going to be a existing thing. So I guess maybe their adventure is literally, going to theme it that way. So for these two incredible roles, the Marvel simultaneously acts as your role and your trope, and you should mark it in both sections. So unlike other roles, you immediately gain 2 attribute points, 12 assigned skills, and 3 feats. The Prodigy is a non-role, which allows you to choose an extra trope instead of the role. This means you have 2 tropes, one to mark down on the hero sheet, and the second one to mark as your role. So this means that your role can be billionaire, genius prodigy, or working class hero prodigy. The Prodigy allows you to gain access to a vast array of powers, and it is a perfect role when you want to play an original bizarre hero who doesn't fit into the categories. I see. So yeah, the Marvel is a super, high level power, and the Prodigy is just kind of a mashup just outside of the other roles that they definitely themed on existing superheroes with. And, very mainstream superheroes, because, both Marvel and DC get insane. So we'll just take a quick flip through. So the Armored is your Iron Man, your War Machine. Your Beast is what? Beast, Wolverine. Kind of, feral abilities. Your Jumping and your Monstrous. Your Blasters, your Cyclops. Nice. I guess, but anybody that would have energy blasts. The Champion, like your Iron Man. The Elemental, we got our Human Torch example here. It could be Iceman or Storm, I guess. Yeah. Oh no, that Storm would not. This is Storm, the Force Master. So your superpowers are Force control. So Elemental is just Elemental. Yeah, Elemental control, and I guess you might choose a. Oh, that's right. And they give you example catchphrases like, I'm on fire, help. Nice. So yeah, controlling wind and flame and all of the elemental things, water. And here's shape of, you could do Wonder Twins. The Force Master would be our Storm. The Maverick, I guess they're going with Star-Lord. I don't know, yeah. There's a specialty, and you've got looks like gadgets and a super ride and bullseye for shooting. The Psychic are Charles Xavier, played by someone else. So your mind powers, your Jean Greys, and everybody. The Shadow, your Batman. Who's the darkest Marvel character, shadowy Marvel character? I guess they don't have any kind of. I mean, they do, but not top tier. I can't think at the moment. But here's half Batman, pseudo Batman, with his not bat shaped ring weapons. So detective gadgets, billionaire. You know the thing. Shapeshifter. So shapeshift. So what, like Mystique, or I don't know. He's looking very robotic. So Heartbreaker Monster, PhD. Power Mirror Regeneration, and Speak with Animals. There's interesting combinations there. The Sorcerer, so Scarlet Witch type things, except this is purple witch, arcane powers. Oh, and you can do familiar or even mind control. Speedster. Oh wait, what's multiple hero? Oh, we'll see what that is. Speedster. Yeah, so your Flash or your Quicksilver. Hulk or the Thing. Trained. Oh, Lord of the Seas is under the tank. Interesting. Well, that's biceps upon biceps. The Teleporter. So our Kitty Pryde. Hacker is one of the things. Interesting. And they put Detective in there. Our Weapons Master. So who are we going with there? Interesting theming. So she got a katana and a pistol. So Acrobat, Cyborg, Gadget, Regeneration. I was thinking that was going to be Punisher, or who's the Deadshot or whatever, but And the Marvel. So here's the superpowered. So like Superman or Captain Marvel, somebody on a very a much higher level. But I guess you'd have to discuss if that's going to work, because then someone will be doing all the work. And here's the Prodigy. So kind of a and they're kind of theming that as Spider-Man. So one-of-a-kind superpowers, and your feats are granted by the trope. So you can kind of make up what you will. That's cool. Oh yeah, so for the incredible rolls, the prodigy is a non-roll, which allows you to choose extra tropes, and the marvel simultaneously access roll and trope. Yeah, we already went over all that does. So here's your tropes: anti-hero, billionaire genius, charming misfit. Oh, and here we go. It's archetypes, not stereotypes. So adhering to a trope helps you to dive straight into the action with a reasonably clear idea of how your hero would act during the mission. It also helps other players get an idea of your hero. But you must be careful not to take it too far. Yeah, don't make people uncomfortable with your doing a strange accent or running too far in one direction. Chatty mercenary, country boy, country girl, cynical tinkerer, dark knight, deadly beauty, good advisor, hot mess, humorless grouch, most dangerous, nosy, four eyes, a few words, sassy genius, sentimental rebel. And they've got a kind of a quick quote to kind of give you an idea of what the theming is, and then a description. Super soldier, tough exterior, tragic past, walking hazard, working class hero. And then the attributes and skills. So under the different attributes are the other skills you can take. So like brawn has fight, nerves has shoot and drive, smooth has leadership and flirt, focus has detect and heal, and crime has awareness and streetwise. So those type of things. And the resources of the hero, your grit and your conditions, power and spotlight. So you begin with one power and can always spend it to gain a +1 on your rolls. So I forget what that's called in the regular game. But that's the resource for basically that you can spend, and spotlights are the kind of one-off or rewards. Oh yeah, it describes here. Spotlights are even more precious. They allow you to get everyone's attention and accomplish a feat worthy of your character in a superhero movie. You begin with one, and you can spend it to gain a success without rolling dice. So just instant success, and then you can say you can describe what you do and basically take control. Because the way that this is kind of themed, especially you can get from the game master being called a director, that this is very scene by scene and cinematic, and this is the end of the scene, it's the next scene. So you can take over the scene, take over the action with a spotlight. So basically, get the spotlight is now on you. So cash is kind of a abstracted thing. So, one cash is basically every kind of affordable thing. And I think there are even things that you can just get a hold of, that are less than one cash, just disposable things, but it kind of gives you a level of value and how much things cost. So what you would have access to. The unlimited funds feats grants you a lot of extra cash from your very first session. You billionaire, you. Then you do your starting gear. There we go. Really nice. Look at that. I love all the work in Too Little Mice. Good art direction, good artists, good stuff. All right, with great power. So your superpowers, power and spotlight, your feats. So your basic packages. Superheroes are stronger and faster than normal people. This basic package of powers is shared by all heroes, depending on your power tier. Oh, there we go. Okay, so they do come up with something, because that's something that every superhero game has to handle, especially if they want to stat out Superman versus Captain America or whatever, very disparate, very different ideas of heroes and very different power levels. So a power tier. So basic package is shared, which is why it isn't even considered a feat and doesn't need to be marked on your hero sheet, but it varies depending on your power tier. So we'll take a look at how they designate that. And then finally, you can also pick up the transformation feat for free and go on to lead a merry double life. So you can Hulk out or whatever you need to do, or just CG your costume on. You're never wearing a costume; you're just wearing a mocap suit, and they just put your costume on whenever you snap your head or touch your ear or whatever. All right, so superpowers, extraordinary skills. Yes, so you can rely on them and use these skills until you get the powerless condition. So if kryptonite or something comes your way. All right, and in advancing, you get to choose. You can unlock superpowers when advancing by choosing new powers. Oh, wow. So that's kind of cool because especially if you theme it so that you're a young hero, that would be cool to discover more powers. Special actions. Some powers allow you to spend power to use special actions. And that's what this powers that have this little lightning bolt mark next to it means you have to spend a currency to use them. And then there's a narrative superpower. When a hero uses a superpower to give some color to their action without really seeking mechanical results, then they can just do it because it looks cool. Yeah, rule of cool, I think, is a very, an outgunned thing. I think they like that very much. And I think that's why they go with the tools, not rules thing, is because, but if it'd be cool to do that, you can, let's do that. So here's your arcane powers. Oh, yeah, they're your power sets. Battleborn, Dark Presence. So here's here's one of the examples here. You'd have to spend a power point. Sorry about the shadow there. This has been a power point. Vanish is a quick action. You can spend 1 power to hide and get away from a thorny situation, but you need to have that currency. Elemental control. They do water, electricity, fire, ice, storm. Storm and the storm. Okay, earth and wind. All right, enhanced body for your fighter, your thing. Force control, cosmic force, electromagnetic force. So what, Magneto or Silver Surfer? Hyper technology armor. So Iron Man has recall. So when in the open or near your suit of technological armor, you can spend 1 to make it fly onto your body. Oh, nice. Yeah, so the way that Tony Stark was always summoning suits. Incredible strength. Unless you're powerless, you can brawl like crazy. Invincible. So you are practically a perfect being. You gain a free reroll in all rolls in Brawn, and you also gain feats of flight, energy manipulation, and only weakness. You have to come up with your kryptonite. So when filling in your hero sheet, you get 6 extra skills. Yeah, so this must be a Marvel ability. Kinetic energy, mind powers, natural predator, one of a kind. Yeah, so some of them need currency and some of them don't. Like your kinetic ray is just your super weapon. You get +1 and a free reroll. Shapeshifter, humanoid, animal, and elastic. Oh, Plastic Man, or I guess Mr. Fantastic. Specialty, you can do underdog, reroll any kind of feat. You ignore the penalties or conditions other than powerless. Super speed. Be right back. It takes a full turn, but you can spend a turn to reach a spot you can run to, retrieve, drop something, and then come back. In a flash, you have to spend a point of power. Once a turn, if you are free from obstacles and able to move, you can spend the power to take one of the following actions. Run to any place, abandon combat, change your clothes, put on your super suit, succeed in a reaction roll, or do a second action. I guess if you're really role-playing heavily, your secret identity, abilities like this would be useful. But otherwise, it seems like, okay, got to spend a point of action to get dressed quickly. Okay, isn't my costume in my ring? Flash. Teleportation, round trip. Group teleport. Oh yeah, both of those cost power. So power and spotlight. So yeah. Oh, that's right. And once you have accumulated 6 powers, you can then cash that in to immediately get a spotlight. So power is a resource that is gained and spent very often, and it allows you to activate certain powers. Spotlights are more rare. So power is important. It represents your inner strength, your ability to draw on your superpowers to face adversity. So powers allow you to increase your chances of success. You can have up to 6 at any time, and once you get 6, you can spend it. So you spend 1 to get a +1, spend 1 to activate your powers, or spend 1 to just show off your superpowers if there's any narrative reason. So gaining power, you automatically gain power in 5 different circumstances. When you fill in your sheet, You gain 1 power. When you fill in the power box on your grit, you'll gain a power. The beginning of the timeout, when you use a recharge action, and when you make a last effort. Additionally, the director can reward you with power. And then when to grant power. This is the director's advice. When they get a success needed, when they get a far greater success than they needed. Oh, that's right. Yeah, when you really overroll. And I think they sometimes specify, maybe they'll specify that in the mechanics. Yeah, if you've rolled this or you're two levels over what you needed to roll, sometimes that can trigger a PowerPoint. Make a great sacrifice, have a bright original idea, do something creative, captivate people. They're at the center of an epic scene, or everyone cheers. Yeah, like happens all the time in life. Everyone cheers. If you're at a table where everyone cheers, maybe everyone laughs, but I don't know. So one last effort is, in desperate need of power, you can do that. You can gain 1 power, use it immediately, but you can only do it when you have 0 power and do not have the resources you need to show off your power. After making 1 less power, you are exhausted. So yeah, the showing off your power means that when you want to unleash your superpower in an extreme way, or for example, to lift a whole stadium in the air, temporarily drag the enemies into a parallel dimension. Yeah, I guess for effect and threatening and stuff, you can show off your power. And here's how it works: the price to pay and failure. Oh, and you can spend power points to do it. So here's the spotlight, and these, the coins that were in that bag are a spotlight coin. So yeah, each character starts with 1, and then they kind of handed it in. And sometimes, I don't know if everybody does, or there's just certain feats that give you this, but you spend 1 and you can flip this coin, and if you call it, heads or tails, and you're correct, you can get it back. So that's something cool that some feats have. I'm not sure if everybody has that, and maybe in superheroes everybody has that. Let's find out. So basically, when you want to do something really cool and you won't take no for an answer, if you can have up to 3 at one time. You get extreme success, save a friend, remove a condition, show off your superpowers automatically, save a ride, or do whatever you want. So when your vehicle is about to be destroyed, you can spend it to stop it. Oh yeah, so flip coin. So everyone after using the spotlight and getting its benefits flips it, and then the results is tails immediately regain the spotlight. Nice. So if you get whatever is tails, maybe not this. Nice. And they'll talk about, so the only exception to the rule is when you save someone's life, then the result is tails. You gain they gain 1 spotlight. If you save them, it's now their turn to make a difference, and then to save a friend, and then end of a hero. So getting a spotlight, everyone begins with 1, and then, these are the kind of conditions under which you would get another one. Here's a list of all the feats. Feats tied to your superpowers. And so you'll get some, depending on the powers you choose, you'll get automatic feats, and then you can add more. And I think you can take certain ones a certain number of times to give you a higher level of them, if I remember correctly. But we've read a lot of these. Giant Growth and Hacker and Incorporeal Monster. Is that a duck mask? What's going on here? Only weakness. Yeah, that's your kryptonite. So if you're invincible, it's the only thing that's going to get you. Power absorption, power meter regeneration. Oh yeah, how does regeneration work? Does that work with your grit track? Fast recovery. You can spend 1 power to recover 3 grit or heal from tired or hurt conditions. Wow, yeah, that's pretty powerful, because your grit track is only 12, I think. So 3 grit is 25%. Yeah, that's pretty good. Shrinkage. All right, speak with animals. Super ride. Wall climber. There we go. See, got to be careful with those claws. Look at all the band-aids she has to wear. There we go. So here's the mechanics. So if you don't know the game, you're rolling dice pools, and you're kind of getting you're trying to get 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind, as many as possible of the same result. and you get re-rolls. So a little bit like Yahtzee, you try to get a certain duplicates, so you stick with. If you've rolled 2 of these skulls and you get a re-roll, you can re-roll the other 3 dice if you're rolling 5 dice total, and try to get more skulls, and that increases the level of your success. I think critical is 3. So you have action rolls and then reaction rolls, depending on if something's being done to you or if you're saying what's up. So basically, the director says roll a reaction. You say what you do when you roll actions. So your dice pool, choose an ability and skill, add those 2 scores together. That's how many dice you roll. And some conditions give you, plus or minus. And here's the roll difficulties. So basic is this is just describing it. It's not showing, but I believe basic is 1, critical is 2, extreme is 3. I'm sorry. I think it's 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind, which is quite difficult. But sometimes with the re-rolling, because sometimes you get 2 re-rolls, so you can go a free re-roll, a regular re-roll, and then all in, which is all or nothing. So you do better, or it counts as a 0. So most results for the hero are critical rolls. So usually you should hit your difficulty and your reaction. So whenever in doubt, the director can always set the difficulty. Yeah, so this is just guidelines for the difficulty. Basic rolls, and then extreme rolls for desperate situations. All right, so power tiers, here we go. There are 3 power tiers that change the difficulty levels: street, world, and cosmic. There we go. They really simplified it. Interesting. And we'll see that in 7, what heroes do. All right, so double difficulty. So you have to get 2 basics, 2 criticals, or 2 streams. So when you are making extra complex things, you'll need to make in your die pool 2 extremes, 2 criticals, 2 basics. Interesting. You're still only rolling the die once, but you need 2 successes to prevail. Interesting. Now that's double difficulty. Sounds very hard. You need a lot of rerolls. In most cases, you have so critical difficulty, the 3 of a kind, is pretty standard, and if you're only rolling 3 or 4 dice, that's pretty hard to do. They're a happy medium, critical rolls. So here we go. Here's the successes. So basic success is just a pair, so 2 of a kind. Critical is 3, which is what most things are. Extreme is 4. Impossible is 5. Jackpot is 6 or more, but you have to be rolling a lot of dice for that. Which if you're rolling to your highest stats, you could be rolling 8 dice, so it's not out of the question. Oh, and this is nice. I think Freely does this a lot too. This is just a because you don't have to roll, you don't have to participate, you don't have to try something when it's an action roll. And this is the percent of success, or percent of basic success, critical success, extreme, depending on how many dice you're rolling. This is a handy thing. It's like, it's 12%. I'm not gonna do that, because if I fail, then depending on you take a condition or what's at stake. So I like when they give you just that as a quick reference. So re-rolls. So you automatically, if you have at least one basic success, if you 2 of a kind, then you can re-roll. But the re-roll has to generate a higher level of success. So you have to go from basic to critical, 2 of a kind to 3 of a kind with the re-roll, or it just fails. And then feats and powers often gain you a free re-roll, which means it doesn't have to be better. So that's the one you kind of do first to see if you can get it in a better condition. And if that doesn't do what you need it to do, then you do the basic reroll that does need to be better. And then, of course, you can all in. And all in just means, you go for, you're just going for it. And if you lose all previous successes and totally fail. Which, if you're defending yourself in a reaction roll, is very dangerous, because you can kind of spend successes against a weapon's success or an attack's success to mitigate damage. So if you go all in to defend yourself, you could end up in really bad shape. And then a recap. So after rolling dice, so you tally up. Oh no, this is just the sorry. This why did they make it look the same? Yeah, so this is just giving you the basic. They should put this in a box, because it looks like one of the things. Yes, reroll. Yeah, and so if you've played the system before, you know you should always at least do a reroll, especially if you have a free reroll. Even if you succeeded really well, try to make it better. Just spend your free reroll. But here's what they're saying. So a reroll is not a dangerous option, and that you should only resort to in desperate situations. Far from it. Rerolls are your friends. They greatly increase your chance of success, and you can see that on the percentage chart. So a hero worthy of their name should reroll. So yeah, it's you should, and that's what's fun about this game, because huge success and huge failure are really, really fun, and that's what the mechanics really push you towards. So here's a game example, and rolling all those dice. Helps and hindrances. So help is a piece of gear or supporting character that will give you some benefit, and a hindrance is a bulky or inadequate gear. Things that don't go well. Oh, that's not looking good, Iron Woman. Is it falling apart or is it coming together? And extra action, so you get extra basic, quick action, extra critical, extra. So whenever you score successes, you can spend them towards extra actions. That's right. So if you get two of a kinds and you only needed one, basic, you can do something else with that extra action. Sometimes extra damage, but in this case, because there's probably going to be a lot more brawling kind of combat and throwing buildings at each other and stuff, they'll give you what types of things you can spend that on. Cover and partial cover. So yeah, it's either partial cover is -1, +1 react, and then automatic success and react, and -3 to action rolls for total cover. So total cover is pretty strong. It's hard to hit somebody. So failure. So in this game, failure does not exist. Yeah, they want you to push yourself and go as crazy as you can, and then just spend the grit when you fail. So failure is simply a pothole on a long road, a winding, unpaved road that you must travel in order to reach the victorious goal. Nice. Oh, and dangerous rolls. Sometimes you're facing a dangerous roll where you will have to control damage if you don't. So 4 ways to fail with style. So roll with punches, pay the price, take a hard road, or face danger. Yeah, when you choose to face danger, you end up in a dramatic situation, forced to make a dangerous roll. All right. It's a cat. It's not a raccoon. Come on, get out of here. This is a little Psylocke. What's going on here? Dangerous rolls. Yeah, so you could be asked to make one of these. So when you take an action or a reaction that puts your life or safety on the line, you have to make a dangerous roll. So that means when you roll the skull symbol on the dice, I think every single iteration of Outgunned, one of the symbols is a skull. This means you read it when you read the action roll, an action roll with a skull or reaction roll with a skull, you're making a dangerous roll. All right, so that means, so depending on how many skulls, if you get 2 skulls, you lose 1 grit. If you get 3 skulls, you lose 3 grit. 4 skulls, you lose 9 grit. And if you get an impossible of skulls, you lose all the grit. So the symbols don't mean anything except for the matching, making pairs and triples and things, triplets. But when you're doing a dangerous roll, the skulls matter, and you'll take damage for that. Takes grit, so you get 12 grit boxes, and certain things trigger as you're losing your grit. But it looks like with regeneration, you can quickly gain that back. Yeah, so controlling your damage. Every basic success you score, you'll avoid losing 1 grit. So yeah, it's success when you're reacting to something to roll against and limit things. So your look, so these are the conditions. So you look, it should be you look ... So conditions, suffering conditions, removing conditions. And so you got tired, hurt, nervous, like a fool, you look like a fool, distracted, broken. And there's some other conditions: powerless, exhausted, defeated, and blocked. So, and those are the descriptions of what it means. Oh, here we go. End of a hero. So, even grit has its limits, and if you don't play your hand carefully, you can the greatest hero runs the risk of meeting their demise. So when you lose all of your grit, you're in big trouble. Your next failure in a roll in a danger roll will immediately impose a powerless condition on you. This means that your hyper-technology suit is completely disabled. You stop being able to sustain your transformation. You can't control your powers. You're simply too messed up to keep fighting. When you're both out of grit and powerless, you can't take any more damage. The next time you lose grit, you will be left for dead. So yeah, that is the way that it's hard to get there. You have to be pretty oblivious to the mechanics and what you can do to help yourself, but it is possible. And then saving a friend, we saw this with a spotlight. You can choose to spend it to intervene and save someone. Yeah, so you can rescue a teammate. All right. Yeah, so a way to spend your spotlight to keep somebody from dying, but you can't spend your spotlight to keep yourself from dying. So yeah, Left for Dead, you take a dramatic bow back from the dead. A hero who's left for dead always has the chance to return suddenly with an unbelievable story. However, you will have a scar. Yeah, because there's how many times has Superman and Batman, everybody died, and then they're back. Oh, hey, that's not Venom, and that's not, what's her face? Cyclops' sister. Or not Cyclops, Colossus' sister. Enemies, here we go. Yes, so superpowers can always come with a slew of super problems, and that's the enemies. So yeah, here's kind of basic stat lines for goons and how many points they have. One enemy each. So let's say some of the heroes are chosen to fight the bad guy of the week, while the others keep up the rear and deal with the goons. So what happens then? Enemy grit. Yeah, so each one of them has a track that you can run. I think there's cards. I think in the cards we're going to maybe see some good ways to have enemies out and statted. So enemy defense, enemy attack, kind of give you the rules. They're a little bit different from characters. It's a little simple. But then enemies do have feats, so things can be triggered. And especially if they're going to be super powered enemies, it could get interesting. It could get tricky. They can completely, keep spending points to keep coming back or defending things or whatever. So yeah, and they go through all the powers. And look at that. It's not the Green Goblin. It's Skull-Faced Mechano Man. All right. Yeah. So here we go through. This is all how the enemies spend their points. And I think they generate those differently too. Then they get their special actions. And on-demand enemies. Okay, so here's kind of like your list of NPCs. So you need to grab something real quick. They run into this kind of enemy or whatever. He's robbing the bank. You can just quickly grab kind of pre-made, pre-statted out stuff. And here's their combat rules. So initiative, winning combat, losing combat. So initiative, there's only one rule. Who strikes first, strikes first. So if a hero chooses to attack the enemy first in combat, combat begins with an action turn. On the other hand, if the director states the enemy attacks, then they start with a reaction. And then winning combat, when you fill the enemy's last grit box, then the heroes have won. And there's the action turn. So it's quick actions, and then your basic actions and things that would cause a roll, an action roll. And I guess quick actions can go first, right? Yeah. Grab something, toss something. Yeah, just quick, easy, quick actions, and then something you need to roll for. Team up. So you can help each other. Yeah, that's right. Give yourself each other bonuses and stuff. Fastball, special it up. During your action turn in combat, you can choose to team up with one of your allies. And then, yeah, they give you the rules for that. And here's your reaction turns and, yeah, how you control your damage. Extra reactions. During combat, you can use successes scored during your reactions to extra actions, counter, or protection. That's great. That'll really create a much nicer back and forth. I don't remember extra actions. That's nice. Here's their example of combat. Assemble. All right, so making your superhero team. What's the need? Here's your teamwork. How assemble scenes unfold. Oh, so assemble is so heroes don't end trying to terminate their careers. They must also deal with a manner of incidences, threats, calamities, and crises, and small apocalypses standing in the way of their mission. So when heroes stand to face a problem that is too great or too complex to be resolved with a simple action roll, the director can state that they need to assemble. Oh, you have to do the rotating camera group shot. So something that needs for a team. So the need for the team was represented by crucial objectives. The need is represented by a line of boxes, much like the ones used for grit. And then you kind of work to fill in those boxes. Teamwork score represents the hero's joint effort and how efficiently they work together. Wow, this is interesting. So yeah, kind of a group dynamic. So you can, we're all going to work together to save the sinking ship or stop the dam from bursting or whatever. And then that can be set with a difficulty. You work as a team and you resolve it, differently. Nice. So how the assemble scene unfolds, the action, the reactions, when to assemble. The director should call for assembles only when the situation is truly dramatic and exciting. Setting the need. The hero sets a need score by choosing a number between 6 and 18. Starting your teamwork, victory or defeat. And then there's a countdown. So yeah, you're on a clock. Yeah. Is it always an optional rule? Optional rules are countdown and in the way. So hindrances. So yeah, here's, you would use your power boxes for your assembled characters. Interesting. All right, here's our weapons and gear. Looks like Hawkeye, basically. Gear, weapons, gear, feats, rides, cash, gadgets, eternity shards. All right, help granted by gear and your starting gear. So yeah, a lot of these things, for example, like a laser pistol energy weapon. And here's the cost. Is that, yeah, it's two cash. It's only 2 cash. What a deal. So yeah, it's 1, 2, or 3. And if it's very expensive, it's 4. So like a car or a motorcycle is 4. But most things, 1, 2, or 3. So melee weapons, ranged weapons, firearms, energy weapons, and then all the gear, feats. Yeah, so certain weapons you choose have different feats. So there'll be, rapid fire or, slow reload or something that will make it so it's unique, but maybe has more damage or has better range. And then the rides are bikes, cars, nautical rides, the ferry, flying rides, and armored. You get a ride, and then that's one of the things. You can either save your friend or save your ride. So sometimes you're going to have to choose. You're both going over the cliff. Do I save my bike or do I save my friend? So there's a ride sheet, for damage and specs for your ride, armor, speed, super rides, tanks, rockets, or transforming rides. And then here's your abstracted cache. So here's just a basic guide. So one cache is gear, services every day of little consequence. 2 is more expensive, things that not everyone can afford. 3 is very expensive or hard to find. And 4 cache is luxury gears and services, rare items, or specific requests. So something very customized. All your gadgets. So 15 gadgets. Oh, they do duramantium, not adamantium. Duramantium. And a spider web. Oh, wait a minute. That's just spider. Yeah, so here's all of your super gadgets and gear. All right, eternity shards. Look at, this is the dice that they will have to see what those look like. Eternity shards are legendary crystals that existed since before time and space. They are glistening gems of pure cosmic energy that can grant great powers to anyone strong enough to wield them. So here's our 6 energy shards. The chain shard, control the fabric of reality. The force shard can unleash endless force. The mind shard can control minds. The space shard can bend space. Spirit can control the souls of the living. And the time shard can manipulate time. That's exactly 1 for 1. The infinity stones. But these are the eternity shards. They're not stones. They're not infinite. They're eternal. Oh, boy. So gaining a shard. There are no superpower or feats that can grant you access to an eternity shard. But if you want to get your hands on one, you'll need to find it and then get it yourself during a mission. A villain can get their hands on an eternity shard too, and then he'll snap his fingers. They also have it from the very beginning. If they choose the strong spot eternity shard, then choose the strong spot eternity shard to learn more what the villains can do. So using a shard. Only heroes and villains can properly use a shard. Use a shard, you need to roll the numeric value. Yeah, so the different colors in each shard is a different sided polyhedral die, so from 4 to 20. When a hero wields an Eternity Shard with their bare hands, they inevitably lose 10 grit each turn. Only a hero with Divine or Eternal can avoid this. Or they can become, or they comes with using the shard without a vessel. So like, equipping it into a staff or something. There we go. So a vessel. Vessels can be created to allow people to harness the shards. The legendary artifacts are often kept hidden. Yeah, so like Loki's staff or Vision's forehead. Oh, wow. And then they go, so they give you a description of each of the shards. So what is this? This is a D4, D12, D10, D6, D20, and but a very cool, is that a D4? That's a very cool D4. We'll have to see that in the box and see how that rolls. Nice. All right, and then vessels for your shards, the Eternity vessels. Wow, that could get crazy. But I like that when, like Spider-Man gets the power cosmic, or my favorite mashup happened in one of the kind of dark hero, anti-hero comics. It was Red Hulk with Venom symbiote and the Spirit of Vengeance from Ghost Rider all combined into one. That's the best. That was easily the best combination of stupid gonzo powers. All right. So Tales of Heroes. So this is explaining how shots and campaigns and things work. So you can just basically play as one shots, or string things together in a campaign, and they have pre-written stuff that we'll take a look at. It's got a mission, you got a villain, and then here we go, power tiers. So here they chose to do the 3. So we've got so power tiers are a little more. So some superheroes are a little more than martial artists, and some can intervene in the fate of the world. So this balance. So the most powerful of them, the staunch defenders of the universe, fighting to protect the entire galaxy or safeguard the flow of time in the multiverse. Hero tiers are designed specifically to help you manage the great difficulty in power and responsibility. The power tier is an indicator that marks the hero's level of power and influence. The higher the power tier, the greater the threat that looms over the heroes. The good news is that at higher tiers, heroes are much more powerful too, so they have the tools they need to deal with the planet-wide or sometimes galaxy-wide disasters. So choosing a power tier. Before the game begins, your group of players should come together to choose a power tier and determine the scale of your powers your powers and of your mission. So if you want to go street level, like Daredevil, Spider-Man, the heroes patrol the city streets and hunt criminals. Street level is more basic power tier, easiest to manage. And then they describe the difficulty and the basics of the game. World levels, the heroes are protectors of the Earth, and they fight to save things at a planetary level. That is not, and this is not their first experience. Maybe they even have a tower or a base. If you play at this tier, it's described there as extreme. Extremes become critical. Oh, so it just kind of bumps up. Yeah, so world level, all of your successes are bumped up. Described as critical become basic. Okay, so Oh, I'm sorry. It bumps the difficulty down because you are more powerful. So less success is more success. Less is more at the world level. All right, so you play this power tier. Similarly, the world level, thugs and goons aren't even considered enemies, and they don't stand a chance to even hurt you. So you won't even find a need to put a hand to the dice unless you're fighting a handful of well-trained soldiers at least. Cosmic level, the heroes are known on an interplanetary level, and they are called more or less regularly to work on other planets that need your help. So in playing cosmic level, the heroes are so powerful that the actions like jumping over a whole building or breaking a street wall with their bare hands don't even require a roll. At this tier, any enemy that who can't rely on superpowers or other innate gifts can easily be defeated. Yeah, so I guess you just have to decide how crazy you're gonna go with that. And so here's examples of the different tiered missions. The goal of power tiers, they're a convention that allows players to start the game with a clear idea of the scale of their powers and the scale of the adventure they will face. In short, when picking a tier, all players agree to share a certain type of story and associate a certain basic value to a basic, critical, extreme, or impossible. I see. Yeah, so if you're street play, you're going to be like this. And then the campaign, especially if it's pre-written, I think it's going to kind of dictate the level, and probably most of it will be world level. I would imagine that would be the default level of play. All right, so the cinematic campaign will have a call to action, the summons, a new enemy, the disaster, a crisis, and an end game. So the cinematic saga, so there'll be a sequel, a prequel, spin-offs, or a crossover. Yeah, so it's very themed like a movie. I think we did a trilogy with Matt, our buddy cop story, Indie Heat. I think we did three shots, so 3 cinematic campaigns that kind of hooked together. And Matt did a really great job of making them all very different, like moving us around and making it very different. So here's explanation of the team sheet. The Agents of S.T.O.R.M, or S.H.I.E.L.D., but not S.H.I.E.L.D., it's S.T.O.R.M. And so what this means, so this is your default. And you're free to make up your own, I'm sure. And your villains, the villains and their evil plans. The villains' strong spots, the villains' weak spots. Teams of villains, no. So classic villains, the criminal boss, the shadow lord, the evil artificial intelligence, the fanatic billionaire, the crazy colossus, and the world killer. So heat. So as you get closer to the final battle with the villain, the stakes keep climbing ever higher and higher, and heat rises. So there's a heat track that goes from 1 to 12. The track tells you how close the villains are to actually carrying out their evil plan. So it's like a clock, and stakes get raised. So raising heat is caused by let's see. Mission begins. The heat is equal to the number of heroes in the game. So 2 to 4 or 2 to 6, however crazy you're going to go. If there are 4 heroes, then you start at 4. Heat raises by 1 when you lose, when you say goodbye, when it's too late, when someone destroys your hero's city, when you're captured, when you're powerless, or when the villain's in the lead. Impact of heat, high tension, mask off, spoke in the wheel, exposed weaknesses, public enemy, tick-tock. The heat is rising by 1, double cross, and give it to me. So important appointments. So think of heat as a clock. Yes, that's what we're thinking. And the doomsday clock. If the end game begins and the heat clock is already at 12, this means the heroes have made too many mistakes. The villain managed to do something terrible. There's no coming back. And the time out, so your downtime kind of play and mechanics. So the people you love are back, standing back up again with a cool quip and saying, I can do this all day. Ha ha. All right, so when you have a timeouts are necessary moments in the story that allows the heroes to talk with each other, recover grit, and discuss. Yeah, so a little bit downtime, like a short rest kind of thing. All right, it's always better to place this timeout scene at the very beginning or end of a session. This will allow the heroes to make good use of the quiet timeouts and heal up or whatever. So yeah, kind of like your leveling up time. And then here's your timeout actions: researching, healing, fixing, training, and then advancement. So what do you get when you advance? So every time you go through an advancement, you gain a new feats and skills. So you get 2 skill points, 1 feat, and 1 power. How to advance: after a crisis or before the end game. And how much to advance? You can advance 3 times, getting a total of 6 skills and 3 feats additionally. And yeah, because you're playing, this isn't long. You're not going to be playing this for years with the same characters. You could, play this continually, but you'll be continuing to roll characters. And I think Matt had a really good idea of doing like a trilogy of campaigns. And that seems to be as far as you can go, because you reach the limits of how far you can level up. So it just won't be interesting anymore, because you're not going to be changing unless you come up with some, mechanics where your powers are mutating or something, some house rules. But this does have a way that the heroes just kind of like, okay, we did it, and you ride off into the sunset. All right, yeah, advancement examples. Let's see here. So using experiments. Oh, under attack. So we'll just like quickly flip through this, but just as the presentation of their included adventure, and they always present them the same way. And I'll just show this because it's really cool. So here's the short summary. Here's the pre-gens involved in it. And look, they present it like a movie script. I guess you're playing like a movie or a TV series. So I love that their pre-written stuff is always presented in that typewriter font as a movie script. And it has that same, has the structure of a screenplay. And here at the end, we have our sheets for our pre-gens for the short adventure. So this book is basically your core rule book and your starter set because it's got everything you need to try the game out without even, having to roll up characters. You can just kind of choose the type and just see how it plays, see how you like it. So picking up just this PDF is enough to really get a taste of this. So I really want to try this out and compare it to the other superhero offerings that are out there. This is a very simple, very fun, cinematic, push your luck, go crazy kind of mechanics for a game. So it should work really well for superheroes as long as the buy-in is just go for it. Just, come up with the craziest plan, the biggest thinking, the biggest punches, the biggest blasts, and it should be pretty cool. So yeah, they did expand a lot. So this is a lot more, than they offered in the action flick to create superpowers and everything. That was just if you want to superpower somebody, how could you do it? Which they always do well in their action flicks. So great. So that's it. And look at that little compact size and everything is in there. So what are we going to look at next? So here's our core book. Well, we've got our little, because the books are little, they do give you a little screen. I think it's 4 panels though. So it's pretty formidable. It works okay. So here's the director's screen and some of the great art. Nice. Yeah, we saw that big hero shot. So you got a nice, so 4 panels of the kind of what B5 size that they do their books, or what is that? It's not A6, A5. It's either A5 or B5. I can't tell. But here's everything that you need to quick reference, know the successes, success ratings and all the basic terminology and everything that you'll need to refer to. So you're not flipping around in the book like all good GM screens. So there's your director's screen and all its nice art. So here what are these? I guess these are PowerPoints. Oh, yeah. So you just mark them on your sheet, or you can use these cardboard tokens. Are these evil PowerPoints? Or maybe these are supposed to be spotlights if you don't have the coins? I don't know. Can't remember if they did cardboard tokens before. This is the first time, because we were just marking stuff. Oh, we played mostly online, but even in person, we just mark it with a pencil so you can erase it and stuff. So that's cool. There's tokens, and here's our S.T.O.R.M database. So a collection of heroes. Oh, so this is just a bunch of pre-gens, all themed around their kind of MCU-ish kind of take on things. Interesting. So I don't know if this feels like an envelope. So this might be an envelope of cards or sheets of the players. So if you just want to come up with somebody. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yep, it's a little envelope, a little folder here. And so these sheets are, they are fold-outs. So these little fold-out sheets of all of the, nice. Yeah, so it's a larger version of the sheet that was in the book. No, it's just probably the same size. Different orientation of the same information. Description on the back, big art on the front. So you've got your Iron Man and your Captain S. America and your... Star-Lord and Detective Transformation and Not Hulk and Cosmic Superman and Human. So basically based on all of the art. And I think they named everybody. Yeah, so Wildcat. Oh, sorry, I'll give you the names here. We'll go through them again. So Wildcat, Professor Khan, Raziel Rain, Vale, Slingshot, Vanguard, Aether, Night Talon, Quick Start, Playtester, no, Ondio. Ondio. Okay. But it's a little dragon girl. Hyper Knight, Captain Storm, Hellshot. Oh yeah, his gun is hellorific. The Mannequin. Ooh, so a little bit of the 30s kind of thing in there. Greystone and Orion. Ignis is our flame guy. Nice. Well, that's great. This is a nice presentation. And they are just paper. They're just, kind of semi-gloss paper sheets. So you might want to put them in a clear file or something to protect them if you're going to use them. Because you can mark off with a dry erase. If this was covered with a plastic sheet, you can mark stuff off. But not with the sheets themselves. But we got a cool little... all of the classified information of all of the heroes. And they present their adventure. So here's the case file 3, and this is their mission dossier, King of Ashes. So a 3-shot campaign. So this is going to have inside, and see, it's going to have the nice... see. Once you get to the adventure, it's written like a screenplay. So you're going to have 3 campaigns and statted out heroes. So maybe NPCs that you will meet or interact with. And each of the parts is named, and things escalate, and you advance in between, so you get a little bit more powerful or have more abilities to deal with stuff in there. So they do a great job. So, and sometimes this first little action here, this first little adventure connects into what's going on here. Sometimes it did before. I can't guarantee. All right, now before we get to the tchotchkes and all the silly stuff, let's take a look at Action Flix 3. So this is the third, and she's toy shopping now. She looks like she's in a Costco for nerd stuff. All right, so this was the first one that they released in looks like an arcade. Oh, this was volume 2. The first one was Last Action Hero, looking at exploding movie theater. Next one's an arcade, and she won a frog, and now I don't know where she is. She's she's at a con. She's at a comic book convention. Ah, nice. Revealing her superhero half shirt, tank top. All right, so what did they add? We had, Ghostbusters, Stranger Things. I mean, anything you could think of in pop culture. So how could they possibly come up with more? Well, they did, and usually these are stretch goals too. So they add to this book, during the campaigns. All right, there's our Supergirl. So Good Boys, V for Villain, Gods and Men, Beast Unleashed, Killing Machines, Steel Titans, Only Humans, Time Travel, High Octane, Power Guardians, and Variant Verse. So it looks like these are all themes for superhero play. It doesn't look like you're getting movie genres, but let's find out. So number 3, and I love how they presented on the crowdfunders. They have these VHS tapes stack up with all the stuff. Do they do that in the back? Oh, let's read that back anyhow. Sorry. So you're looking for new, captivating ideas? Action Flix is here for you. Action Flix is a lineup of mini expansions for Outgunned, the cinematic role-playing game. It's a collection of ideas, mechanics, tips, and tools to get you into the action in an ever-changing and surprising context. So have you ever thought of challenging the wrath of the gods as a mythic hero, or facing a massive kaiju in your own robotic titans? Have you ever dreamed of traveling through time to explore distant eras, or unleashing the wild beast that resides inside you? Have you ever wondered what it would be like to just for once you were one of the villains? All right, so thanks to Action Flix, you'll be able to do all this and more. And usually at the end, I have rules for just mashing them all together. Okay, so we'll just flip through each of these. So here's all of them listed to help choose. There's 10 inside here. Before we begin explaining the rules and how you would need to modify, because I don't think we're using the death roulette in the superhero world. The common feats. Warning: Action Flix are designed to be played one at a time. Any combinations with Outgunned or with one of the other genre books mix Action Flix at your own peril. It could get crazy. All right, so Good Boys. Oh no, is this All Dogs Go to Heaven? Yikes. Oh wow, that looks great. Looks like a tape is sliding right out of that sleeve. So kitchens are very busy. Yeah, Action Flix that will catapult you into the shoes of furry, plumed, or scaly heroes. So you're playing, Milo and Otis or whatever. Wow. All right. Well, you could do that. Animal Missions, A Dog's Life, Four Paw Heroes. Yikes. Okay, that's a thing. I didn't think they would go that direction. Here's the Good Boys. So this is Lucky. All right, here's your villains. So this is how to play. You're a bad guy. So V for villainy. So yeah, your stats for running heroic as villains. So the new rules: villains and anti-heroes, wickedness, evil plans, villainous feats, the Joker. Hey, she's called the Joker. What? How's she called Joker? Or she's not the Joker. She's just Joker. All right, so here we go. Play as gods and men. So yeah, time of legends yet to be written. Brave men and women had to live those deeds. Yeah, so mythic feats and mythic tropes and divine. So gods and semigods. So play all your Greek myths and stuff here, or your Sparta, whatever you want to do. It's looking very Spartan. Nice. So the demigod, yeah. So the demigod, mythic artifacts, divine patrons. That's cool. So beasts is some kind of feral beast battling, guys. Yeah, beasts unleashed. Action flick that introduces beast heroes, men and women who can turn into werebeasts with incredible powers and are on the run from a world that refuses to accept their dual nature. Nice. All the rules for beastliness. Rodent, turtle. Oh, you can play Teenage Mutant. No, I think they already did that in another version. Your beast forms. Oh, no, they didn't. That looks like a turtle from a sewer with the hood. Street Sharks. This is how you play Street Sharks, guys. If you've been looking for the system to play Street Sharks with in your one pre-gen. Killing machines. So how to play the Terminator as a Terminator. Oh, right, because I think they did have a playing, against the Terminator, playing, Kyle Reese or whatever. Sarah Connor. But now you can play, or you can just be a robot of death. Nice. New rules for machines of a new kind. Heroes and robots. Yeah, very Terminator coded. Killer robots. Oh, you can self-destruct. Here's your on-demand robots to fight. So you're a robot killing robots. Steel Titans. This is Pacific Rim. Yeah, so Kaiju Busters. I don't know about that movie. Those movies. That's right. They did a sequel. So yeah, here's your Pacific Rim on-demand Titans, Mega Titans, and then here's your Kaiju rules for fighting all those things coming out from the crack in the Earth's floor of the ocean's floor. Only Human. So Only Human is an absolutely unfair action flick that makes you step into the scuffed shoes of puny mortals who must deal with evil people with extraordinary superpowers. Oh, so like The Boys, I guess. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so it's like The Boys. How would you play The Boys? This is how. Feet stink. Facing supers. Yeah, this is totally The Boys. That's funny. All right, time travel. Oh, cool. So they're steampunking it. It's time travel is an action flick that allows you to travel in space and time. So like the Time Machine, H.G. Wells' Time Machine, or what's the Sliders? That was a time thing, right? Sliders, or Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Something like that. Yeah, it looks a little steampunk. The Time Paradox, all that good stuff. Or is Doctor Who he's a Time Lord, right? I'm going to make myself sound stupid. I'm not a huge Doctor Who fan, but he's a time guy, right? Where and when. It's a lot more work figuring out when stuff is going on. Yeah, the TARDIS is a time travel thing, isn't it? Or whatever. Oh, no, High Octane. No way. Fast and the Furious. You can be Vin Diesel on bikes or in cars, pimping your ride. Nice. So this is an all superhero tropes. I thought for sure from those titles, it's so hard to tell. The Speed Demon. Vin Diesel is. Power Guardians. Nice. Super Sentai or Power Rangers. Not Guardians. Power Guardian Rangers. Nice. So very... very Ranger looking. Oh, and here's all your colors. Nice. Every color imaginable. Or in the Ranger spectrum. So do they give different powers? Yeah, that's cool. Your color is just your trope, your powers. your archetype. Nice. Yeah, your guardian powers. You got your swords or your belts or your guns, whatever's popular that year. And then variant verse. Yeah, so this is at the end of every one of these Flicks books, they give you just the, okay, just smash them together and see how absolutely insane it gets. And it helps explain. So thanks to the variant verse, you can leap into action as a group, all playing the same hero. Yeah, you read that right. This flick. Everyone plays a very. Oh, okay. Sorry. No. It's not telling you to mash them up. It's saying from the different multiverses, you were the same guy. So, like, you know, the 3 Spider-Mans of No Way Home, all mashed up. Nice. And one of them is a raccoon. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Yeah, so they're leaning into the multiverse thing because that's something that the Marvel stuff does. And I guess even DC does, right? With the Flash movie. Clones, same world, same memories. And here's one of your first variant. The One. I get to play the One. You guys are just copies. Okay, and so here's their filmography, all the stuff that kind of inspired them. Oh, yeah, and I guess Back to the Future. That's right. Back to the Future would be something that the time thing would handle. Despicable Me. Huh. Interesting. Nice. What's good? They show their inspirations. And this is also your inspiration, too. You know, if you haven't seen some of these films or rewatching some of this can maybe help you choose a genre. So I was wrong. This isn't all superhero stuff. There is a multiverse one and there are villains in here. But this is, again, a huge selection. And so, you know, they're basically giving you a little mini expansion to let you play almost any movie you can think of or that you like, you know, any action. Of course, in the action genre, you're not going to be playing 9.5 weeks. It's going to be something action based. But cool. So yeah, a nice, so look at all this. So I think each of these is 10, at least 10, maybe even 12, depending on how well it did. I think it's at least 10. So you've got what, almost 30, somewhere around 30 mini expansions, and plus I've already done 3 expansions, the core, adventure, and now superheroes for Outgunned. Wow, they got a lot. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, so here's our cool box. So let's take a look. So here's all the stuff that's going to go in it. So this is the stretch goal box, and it's empty right now. Or no, is there paper in here? There's something in here. Yeah, the poster. That's right. So they give you a 2-sided poster. Oh no, they give you 2 posters. So the kind of the cover art for the Action Flicks book, are they 2-sided? No, it's not. Yeah, last time I think they did it on 2 sides, but here's separate posters. So yeah, the Action Flicks 3 artwork, and then the Outgunned Superheroes cover art on a big poster. So it's six sheets of the B5. Nice. It looks just like a movie poster. They even do the credits at the bottom in the same font. Nice. So this is so cool. They give you a box, and I can't believe they actually tricked me with the fake wear on there. So here's the box and all the stuff we'll put in it. So the stretch goals for this campaign were as listed. So 9 super dice, 9 armor dice, 2 grit dice, which are the D12s. So the rest are D6s. 6 eternity shards, the eternity medallion, eternity box that the shards go in, 3 spotlight coins, the super deck, 2 cinematic posters that we took out, power and powerless tokens. That's what the tokens are. So power tokens, and then the ones that are broken. Sorry, where are those? The ones that are broken looking, are the powerless. So when you lose your powers, you can just take one of these to remember that, you can't do anything. So here's power tokens instead of just marking them on the sheet, and then powerless when you have that condition. That's cool. The dice pouch, the super pencil that you break, and then the gadget and eternity shards handout, and the S.T.O.R.M database. Yeah, we went through the S.T.O.R M database. So I guess I'll just open this box, and as we look at everything, I'll just put it in there. Actually be tidy for once. All right, so we already looked at the pencils. It's just standard wooden pencil that has the always has written, break this to gain 1 power and use it immediately. But if you didn't pledge for it, don't do that. All right, what should we look at next? Well, let's just look at the simple dice first. So you've got your your D12 to run your track. So I don't know if this is a 1. Oh, no, it is. It's not a spin down, but it is a die that you can use to run your grit track with, because it's got the marks at 8 and at 12 and at, what's the other one? Yeah, 8 you get 12 and so there's one. I thought there was one more. But yeah, it's the marks on your grid track. So that's easy to just have next to you, because you don't have to, I don't think you roll this for anything, but you can just use it instead of having to track it on your sheet. And then here are the blue and white that they did. Yeah, they always look really nice. These are kind of brighter colors. Before they did kind of more muted. There was like a wine purple color and a gold with gold ink. But yeah, they're always the nice engraved dice. So I think it's supposed to be a snake eye. We always called it the Pokeball. I think it's supposed to be a snake eye. So different ones are a fireball, kind of a shield, I guess the storm shield. There's our skull. There's, the shield. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a storm S. That's like a cap type shield. That's spotlights or an X. Yeah. So they change the icons with every genre to give you a little bit of variety, but they always have to include a skull for Outgunned for your deadly actions. And here are the armor dice. I think these are themed for it's nice because you can just roll all together and have different colors. And now, yeah, everybody, you can have, if you pledged for all of these, I think you can have like 6 or 8 people with all different colored dice now. So here's the D12 to mark your grit, and the same. So same nice quality. They've got a nice weight, and they're a good size too. They're chunky. They're not too small. The stuff's easy to read. The engraving's easy to read, and there's not crazy paint mistakes or anything on them. So they definitely had some quality control. So that's nice to see. So we'll put those all in the pouch. And here is the pouch. So they always do the custom. So there's the art from the spotlight coins. And so, yeah, nice. We've got 4. So, yeah, you've got, so I guess that's the tail. So the head is the failure. That's right. So you're flipping the coin. So you get one of these physically, and then when you spend it, you flip it to see if you keep it. If you get the skull, you don't keep it. If you get the hero, looks like you probably keep it. So there's 4, and you're gonna be holding up to 3. So 2 sets of these would be nice, but you probably have these from other games too. So you've got a gold coin and lots of other. So with some of the other ones, you can probably meet any coin needs, but otherwise everyone should at least have one of these to flip, because they're hear how heavy duty they are. So they're nice and weighty and fun to flip on the table, as long as it's not a gorgeous antique finish that you're ruining. All right. Well, we're on the dice. I can't. Should I save this? Should we save? Okay, we'll save this. This looks awesome. I can't wait to see this presentation. Look at that foil. All right. So let's go with these cards first. So this is an explanation of the shards on some of these. Why do they have these long? Oh, okay. So here's our Duramantium shield. Oh, okay. Gadget cards. So these are all of our gadget cards. Duramantium shield, Duramantium weapon, a flying cape, jet boots, jet drone, mighty weapon, portal ring, psychic helmet, resizers, special arrows, spider web, stinger, super suit, utility belt, whip of truth. All right, so various versions, and I'm sure you can come up with some other fun stuff. But yeah, this gives you the ability, the feat, I guess, that's included. And here's our 6 cards to explain. I think this is just what was in the book, what each time shard, or what each eternity shard does. So this would just be maybe something the player would have as a reference to. So you can rewind. The villain goes back in time. The spirit shard, resurrection. The villain snuffs the life out of a large number of living beings in the vicinity and recovers all grit. Oh, the villain. So is this how they're 2-sided. Jeez, that's pretty cool. That's right. They explained in the rules, either villains or heroes can have them. So this is the explanation for when the villain has it, what he can do, when the hero has it, what he can do. Nice, and I just happen to have it on the villain side. Let's switch to the hero side. So yeah, this is the ability. Oh yeah, so it gives you some, yeah, spend a power to rewind time. You recover a d20 of grit. Jeez. Oh yeah, because it's the d20. Let's see. For the change one, you can deceive the senses, change the appearance, transform into any shape. So the effect of the change shard remains active for 1d8 turns. The Force Shard, a hero can unleash devastating power. Using a full turn, a hero can focus enough energy to destroy a barrier, ride, or structure. Spend 1 energy to load. During combat, a hero can spend to load their body or favorite weapon with enough force to do a fierce attack. Enemy loses 1d12 grit. The Mind Shard, the hero can spend 1 energy to control the opponent or hero for 1d10 turns. Yes, so as a quick action, you can read the mind of the person and interfere. And the Space Shard, whoa, you've got a d6. So on a 1 to 2, you arrive a few kilometers away from your destination. 3 to 4, you arrive near your destination. 5 to 6, you arrive at your destination without any hitch. So you can spend a full turn to teleport yourself. And then this determines how close you get on the d6. Nice. Well, that's cool. And it's did they should do a little. I guess did they? No, they should have done a little bit more recognizable on the border or something between hero and villain. But I guess they didn't want to interfere with the cool space aesthetic. But that's cool. They have that. That is a nice reference. And then you have both sides to flip back and forth. All right. How about some more cards? All right. So they're wrapped in plastic, and then there's decks inside that are also wrapped in plastic. How much wrapping must we go through? Okay, so we've got your enemy and your... Okay, so we've got our 2 decks of cards here. This one's starting with enemies, and this is the Assemble Special Action. So it's actually like a lot of mini little decks here. So here's a description of all these levels and special actions for... Assemble skills. Here's all your enemy feats. So yeah, the same kind of, powers, but enemy coded for elemental energy shot. All the same stuff, but as a quick reference, so you can just, pull these out when you have them. And here's the superpower cards. So this will help, as long as nobody took the same power, you can have, oh, sorry, this isn't all of that. Here's some enemies. You can have, a quick reference to all of the powers and what they do, what they cost, and what it grants you. Because I think like some of these, this is gear that you get or kind of default built-in abilities. Everything marked as superpowers. Here's all the enemies. So this is nice to have these, and you can even since they're cards, you can even randomize them, and just this is what you run into, as long as it's not ridiculous for the tier you're playing. You have a variety of enemies, and they have their grit tracks on them and their feats. So these are thugs, so they've got none. But if you go with something like a beast warrior, they're going to have regenerating. The regenerating warrior, and super speed wall climber for the elusive speedster. Yeah, so a nice way you can just pull randoms out of there, or, if it's part of the adventure, pull them out, and then you can track on the cards. These are pretty nicely coded cards. I think they'd handle a dry erase pretty easily. These are really nice playing card size, but with a nice heavy coat on them. Cool. So yeah, the enemy cards, enemy feats, and then your assemble cards, and then, and your tropes. Tropes for everything. And this is nice too, because there is only one book with all this information in it. So somebody can just go through these cards and be like, okay, I'm narrowing it down to this and this. Or you can just say, pick 2 cards and then see, choose one of them, to just kind of, if people are kind of, get that paralysis from too many choices. If they just get, I don't know what I want to do, just like give them a couple of cards and say, does one of those sound good? So the randomness of cards helps a lot. So there's all your tropes. And then here's your 2 prodigy, or your prodigy and your marvel, your supers. And then everything, all of your hero types with, this is nice too. Yeah, see, these cards really help if you don't want people scrolling on PDFs on tablets at your table, cards are so useful to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do the shadow. Okay, what do I choose from? It's all right there instead of page 58 or whatever. Yeah, this is nice. They've done this with everything so far, and every time I say this is nice and convenient and great, because it's very smart on their end to do it this way. So yeah, I'll just put everything hopefully in enough of an order. So that's 2 full decks of playing cards of playing aids and stuff to have out to track everything. That's very, very nice. Okay, we've done it. We've gotten to the point. We've seen the dice. We've gone through the book. We've seen the bag. We've even read through all of the flicks. Now, the eternity shards, not the infinity stones. That's so funny. I think there's enough in the book. It's not just aping or just doing a MCU game, that's not licensed, a non-licensed MCU game. Look at that foil. So here are our shards. And it's nice. They have, they gave you abilities based on. So these are just a set of polyhedral dice that I can't open that are, each have a power based on the number of sides, and there's mechanics for rolling them. And I think, what's going on in there? Sounds like there's a lot going on. Sounds like a metal plate or something. What is happening? What is happening? All right. I have gotten the box open. Oh, geez. There we go. This is what. Whoa. So, yeah, this is the super duper thing, right? Yeah, this is the, so there's spotlights, but then there's the big thing. And I guess this is the coin for the big thing, the big eternity medallion. Yikes. All right, so yeah, we got to cut out foam. Those aren't going to be the easiest things to get out, but they'll be nicely protected. So look at this. We've got cut out foam for all of these. They're very clear numbers. Yeah, so they didn't do, that's nice. They didn't do like the Marvel font or anything. These are nice, clear, readable dice. Oh, here it is. Here's the D. So here we go. A D4 that rolls differently. It's not a, like a pyramid or a interesting. I like this. I like this a lot. Oh yeah, I'm sure somebody else makes this. But did you notice something? These are dice you've never seen before. These are dice that they had, custom made for this game. I think the only one that was even close to something that was existing in the market, they're bullet dice. I think they changed the engraving though. So it was the font of Outgunned. But look at this. They did some really nice dice. They themed them around, infinity stones to give you some. So yeah, they're all nice, translucent. Look how clear and beautiful those numbers are. These are a little bit bigger than what usual, like 16 mil dice. This is a big chunky, hefty D20, a big D12. Yeah. So look at that color. Yeah, they did a nice job. So I was worried when I saw that gimmick, and I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's a little bit different shape. It's a little unusual for a D10. It feels, more like a gem than a usual D10. And then maybe it's just the size of it too. And it's really sharp. Like the edges are very, very sharp, very clear cut. They're not just a lazy resin mold cast. Here's our D8. Yeah, they're just a little bit bigger scale. I don't know. Yeah, maybe 18. I don't know if it's quite 20 millimeters, but yeah, maybe it's 20 because that's not quite an inch. But these are really nice, really bright. You're really going to want to get one of these eternity shards, aren't you? Find one and put it in a thing, because that means, so if you have the shard, there is only one of them, so you're only going to need one die, and then the player will always be playing with that. So I definitely would want to be stupid and include this, let everybody get a power and like have a group that's what brought you together, is the eternity shards. Nice. I would not advise flipping this. I think this is a medallion, but here's all of a depiction of all the shards on there. This is cool. I mean, it is it's kind of fanning out for Marvel, what Marvel did, but you can't deny the accomplishment. I mean, they even themselves cannot do it again. is do something as insane as build up through 20-some films into Infinity War. That was insane. So this as a tribute to that, because if anything, this book, and because it's done by an Italian studio, I think it's even more fun because they're not mired in the socio-political whatever of America, and they can just purely look at it as fun and all of the action genres that Hollywood's produced and still and have the fun with it. And so, when they do silly things like the Infinity Stones as polyhedral dice, it's because they love the genre. They want to be able to play this. They want to be able to, how would you mechanically do insane action scenes where you're just pushing your luck and pushing the limits and, going all out in very ridiculous ways. They came up with a great system, great dice system that does that. And there's so much just pure fun and just, the joy of silly action in these rules and in all of these books. And that this just comes through so much with all the stuff they do. And the fact that they don't skimp on the quality, the artwork and art direction is top notch, and the quality of all of their stuff is always wonderful. So it's so cool to see, such love for, something that always gets a cheesy license, a half-assed attempt. If you look at the G.I. Joe role-playing game or Transformers or just the stuff that they crap out because they have a license for it or they bought a license for it. Without the license, you feel the love. You don't feel the people reviewing the board, reviewing your choices and can you make her with both arms in the air? Can you make the armor green? This is just the pure love of genre and how you would play it on the tabletop. And it's so fun. I mean, I think I enjoy going through all of their books. And the next thing coming up is what is it called? Something Blade, Infinity Blade. Basically, their Final Fantasy Legend of Zelda Love Fest. So these games are basically just love fests for fun genres. So they've outgunned as Hollywood action, and we're going to get a new game that is basically the love of JRPGs. And we'll see, if it does have the pure joy that Outgunned is able to capture in it. But yeah, I like these games so much. We've had so much fun with them. They have the ability to do a lot of stuff. And if you can take the setup and the story kind of seriously and then get to the fun of the action and play with different tropes and some of your favorite scenes from movies and stuff, you can really do great stuff and really, really enjoy what they're doing. So that was, so I guess I kind of answered my question. I guess I cured my reluctance or my suspicion that this would just be a weird Marvel simulator. No, it's a Marvel love letter. It's a Marvel and DC enjoy fest, because this gives you the ability to be as stupid as those movies are in that really fun, over the top way. So yeah, it's great. It's really great to see. So you'll put everything. Here's everything involved. Yeah. So this was the superhero pledge for this Kickstarter, and basically, I think it was their all in for hero stuff. It was all in for what they offered for the hero stuff, and there was larger ones that included stuff that you may have missed, and different add-ons for the for adventure and vanilla Outgunned. But yeah, it's great, and I think it feels very playable because we've already had enough experience, I think, with Outgunned. This would not be a hard thing to do. I really want to do my own adventure, though. I'll read through what they did, but if it feels like the Ultron movie, Avengers Ultron, or it feels like, if it feels too much like anything, I really want this to have a little bit more gonzo, a little bit more really out there, fun, fun setting and fun adventure, just like Matt did with the buddy cop thing. So maybe I'll give this a shot because we have this Alchemy and also Virtual Tabletop Alchemy has really great resources for this. You have the custom die faces for rolling. Everything's built in. You've got these gorgeous scenes. So you'll have, the cover art of the book and her ponytails blowing and the everything's raining down. Like they'll do animated versions of these digital illustrations as, kind of just set pieces or frames. They do a lot of good stuff. So check out the Alchemy VTT, alchemyrpg.com. That's, I think, one of the best ways to play Outgunned. And I think Outgunned is being distributed by Free League now. They've got a big distributor now, so it should be pretty easy to get just about everywhere. But if you like superheroes and you don't want to play a license, if you're not, you can't decide between Marvel or DC and you just want to play something neutral, but definitely, Marvel leaning. I would call them Marvel leaning, just in the art direction. This looks like a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And so my fears have been dispelled. I'm not, everything is, the pre-gens are like, this is kind of Doctor Strange. This is kind of Iron Man. Pre-gens, don't blow me away. But I think what you could do with the rules could be a heck of a lot of fun. So yeah, that is Outgunned Superheroes and the superhero pledge that just arrived. So thank you for joining me, and tune into the channel. We do the weekly. Chris and I and Matt and I do the weekly, which is a roundup of kind of tabletop news and discussions. And then we also do an actual play. Currently, we're playing Old School Essentials and doing some old basic and expert modules from that kind of classic era of D&D, the early 80s. And you'll also do various other things. There's audiobooks. So check out both the Patreon, patreon.com/upturntable, and the join button below this video for more content and extended content. Sometimes when we do a series of things, I'll do a big super cut just for members and just for patrons, so they can have like a giant 10-hour video or 10-hour audio to listen to everything all at once instead of having to do playlists or anything like that. So this is Outgunned Superheroes by Two Little Mice, and I don't know what this DC is. I'm going to look this. Oh no, maybe this is part of their thing now. I'll check it. Oh yeah, so it is Free League. Sorry, we do have the Free League. So Free League is helping them with the distribution, and it's part of the Free League workshop for distribution. There's now credit on there, but this is included. So Two Little Mice runs under this. I don't know what the DC is, but it's Two Little Mice and something. It's not DC Comics, thank God, not Warner Brothers, because this is completely license free, and that's why there's so much love in it, because they could do it exactly how they wanted to. So thank you for joining me, and tune in again to the channel. Subscribe to get notified when these kind of videos go up and when we do our live streams. And I will see you again soon. Goodbye.